When is an advertisement no longer an advertisement? Well, if you ask Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, once you upload it to YouTube. At least that's been the government's response to questions about a recent tourism ad published on the YouTube channel of Canada Explore, the country's tourism wing, starring none other than our fearless leader, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, sitting down, having a glass of wine, enjoying some food with American top chef Kristen Kish at one of Chuck Hughes' Montreal restaurants. Now, this is a nice video. You know what? People enjoying some food and wine, looking like they're old friends, having a grand old chat about diversity and about the fabric of Canada. You know, the kind of stuff that normal Canadians talk about at dinner time, right? But no, in this video, the Prime Rib Minister, Justin Trudeau, says that Canada is diverse, that we have a broad culture, city, rural, country, all of these things. All of this is true. Here's a clip from the video.
This is all very, Montreal, and so when you say you go over to like Vancouver, how different does this all change?
What we have in Canada is an amazing diversity, but it really comes out in our food. And it's a challenge to try and fall into what is typical Canadian food because, well, there's no typical Canadian, right? You look just as Canadian as I look Canadian, and that's one of the great things about, there's a pride in Canadian goods, Canadian wines. We've got great Canadian wines, whereas once the idea of Canadian wine was somewhat suspicious, we've got world-class wines that are winning awards right across the globe. Sorry.
Nicely done.
Well,
Thank you.
you're the professional. You should be doing this. Exactly.
This.
I'm not a big plater of food.
So nothing particularly offensive about the video, except for the price tag. This little video, 3 minutes long, cost $24,000 to produce. It was done in a half day in Montreal. The government said, oh, the Prime Minister just happened to be in town. He just happened to be there, so we didn't need to spend any extra money to get the Prime Rib Minister there for this meal and glass of wine. But this is a problem. Because earlier this month, on May 12th, the president of the Treasury Board, Scott Bryson, announced the government's approach to partisan advertising. And he laid out some very specific criteria for what constitutes a partisan government ad. Don't take my word for it. Listen to what Scott Bryson said.
3, it will ensure government advertising and communications are objective, factual, and represent a legitimate public service announcement. For instance, by informing Canadians about programs and services or risks to public health, safety, or the environment. 4, paid advertisements must be free of any name, voice, or image of a federal politician or political party slogans, images, or any kind of party affiliation.
So not only does he say there has to be an imminent public service need or a public safety need or a program that Canadians must be aware of. I'm not sure that wine that is no longer suspicious counts as a government program, but that's just me. He also says that any video that features a representative of government, a politician, is a partisan government ad. It doesn't get more clear-cut than that. Except now the government's backpedaling. A spokesperson for the minister responsible for this said, oh, but it's on YouTube, it's social media. We didn't actually pay for broadcast time. So if you spend money on production, that's fine. You just can't spend money on the actual airing of the ad. This is a promise that it took Prime Rib Minister Justin Trudeau just 2 weeks to break. And we as Canadians are supposed to say, oh, but it's different, but oh, look how much fun he's having. I think Canadians are responsible for showcasing Canadian culture and doing it on our own time because we want to, not because the government has flown our leader to have a nice wine and dine in Montreal. That's not what promoting Canada should be. Trust me, if we're promoting Canada and Trudeau is all we have, our country's tourism is screwed. For TheRebel.media, I'm Andrew Lawton.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of The Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.